And WENY political analyst Dr. Jim Twombly joining us this week to talk about leadership in the U.S. House of Representatives. Jim, in a recent appearance on the cable news outlet Newsmax, current House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said regarding his candidacy as House Speaker, quote, "If we don't do this right, the Democrats can take the majority. If we play games on the floor, the Democrats could end up picking who the speaker is." Now, Jim, a few weeks ago, we talked about this. You thought McCarthy was likely going to be elected House Speaker, but there might be some grumbling within the Republican conference before that was all said and done. And we've seen some of that grumbling from members who want to extract certain benefits or promises from McCarthy. So do you still think he is the most likely speaker? And how could Democrats, who will be in the minority in January, pick the speaker?
Well, first, on a personal note, I want to thank you for coming to visit my class yesterday. The students thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and it was enlightening, I hope, for them as well. Yes, I do think that McCarthy is still the most likely Speaker of the House, but he has to hold together 218 votes in order to win. That's hard to do when your majority is as thin as his party's is. A few years ago, there were Democrats who protested Pelosi's reelection, but back then the Democrats had a sufficiently large majority such that Pelosi could let them make their protest, fulfill their campaign promises, and vote against her. McCarthy doesn't have that breathing room.
Okay, so what's the real issue with this contest?
It's a question of what promises McCarthy might have to make to the more extreme wings of his party, such as Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, or Paul Gosar in order to win. Would those promises be a bridge too far for more moderate Republicans? We'll have to see.
Okay, and now going back to what McCarthy said, how could Democrats pick a speaker?
Well, let's recall first that the speaker does not have to be a member of the House of Representatives. There have been Republicans recently suggesting that former President Trump be selected as speaker, for example. In theory, the Democrats could try to find a more moderate Republican, either a current member, perhaps a member of the Problem Solvers Caucus, or a prominent former office holder who could appeal to just a handful of Republican members. Currently, after the passing earlier this week of Virginia Democrat Donald McEachin of Virginia, there are 222 Republicans and 212 Democrats to be sworn in on January 3rd. If the Dems could find a Republican who could peel away 6 Republican votes, and all the Democrats voted for that person, they could effectively pick the next speaker. This is something I thought Nancy Pelosi could have tried back under the days of Speaker Boehner and Ryan, when they were having trouble with their caucuses. Get them to make some legislative concession, and then have all the Democrats vote along with that handful of Republicans in order to give them the speakership.
Okay, well, we will continue to follow and see how this all unfolds.
Indeed we will.
All right, Jim, thank you.
My pleasure.